Blog Talk Radio.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Soul Sister Show with hosts Sue and Ann. And today we have Thursday, January 7th, 2021. A brand new year and a brand new canvas to paint on, so to speak, to talk a little bit metaphorically. And we're back after the holidays. We hope you all had a wonderful time with peace, joy, or whatever else you wanted it to be for you. And we are a live call-in show, so you can call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and you can call us for questions, share a story with us, chat with us, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. If you want to talk with us live on the show, press 1. And you can also go to scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live, where you can listen live on the player and text chat with us in the chat room on the page. So I'm Anne, coming to you live from Rhodes in Greece this time, and it's really wonderful here. I really love to be here. So it's not colder than 14, 15 degrees Celsius, and that's absolutely stunning. Usually, maybe in daytime, it's 18, 19, 17 Celsius. So it's really like a Swedish summer day. It's very nice. And on today's show, we will talk about soul realignment, and we will have part 2 of the soul memory system. You can find part 1 at scrollsofthesoul.com/past, scrollsofthesoul.com/past, and we aired that show December 3rd, 2020. And we will, of course, like usual, we will take your calls for questions and free mini readings live on air, and we would love to talk to you. So call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And if you want to talk with us live on the show, press 1. And we are a live calling worldwide radio, broadcasting today's show from Arizona in the U.S. and Rhodes in Greece. And once again, guys, we're giving out the numbers, so we are just longing to talk to you. Give us a ring at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and we take your calls for questions or just chatting with you or a free mini reading live on air. And if you want to talk with us, remember to press 1. And on today's show, we will talk about soul realignment, part 2 of the soul's memory system. You can find part 1 at scrollsofthesoul.com/past, and we aired the show December 3rd, 2020. And if you haven't listened to us before, we are the show that discusses the Akashic records, soul realignment, healing modalities in general, and of course, we are passionate about any and all spiritual topics. And we are always a live call-in worldwide radio, so you can give us a ring at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. And international callers dial +1 before the number. And if you want to talk with us live on the show, remember to press 1. You can find us on YouTube. Just search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube and subscribe and like our videos. Now, let me bring on my co-host for Soul Sisters, Sue, all the way from Arizona in the U.S. Hi, Sue. How are you?
Hi, Sissy. I'm good. Sorry about that. I had a little delay there. I'm good. Okay. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to all our listeners and callers.
Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. And we do hope you had a fantastic time over the holidays. We know that it's a challenging time right now, but we do the best we can, right? So that's the only thing we have control of, what we do ourselves and how we respond. And if you haven't called in yet, now is a great time to call in and get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 213-943-3587. And you can call us for questions or just chat with us or share a story with us, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. If you want to talk with us, press 1, or you can join us in the chat room and text chat with us during the show at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue for a personal paid reading, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And of course, there are many things to find out about Scrolls of the Soul Radio at scrollsofthesoul.com. And before we move on with today's show, I know that my beautiful Sissy in the U.S. wants to remind us what last show was about. That was some time ago.
Yep. Yeah, it was. Thank goodness for notes. Last show was about angel numbers, and we were specifically referencing Joanne, her Sacred Scribe, her website, as well as articles she had, which I think I was able to get through one of them. She has different topics she'll write about, like how to read angel numbers, as well as mixed number sequences, which that part we didn't get into, and we may do that another time. That one I find interesting because, we're all always looking for, numbers that are the same numbers, 111, 222, 333. And the out of sequence numbers, the mixed numbers, that was kind of interesting. It really speaks a lot. I think you get a lot of information with that. So keep your ears open. I think in the future I may take up that specific article she wrote about, maybe with one of our number shows. So, yeah, we both really enjoy Joanne's website. And like Anne said, if you haven't had a chance to listen, you can always go into scrollsofthesoul.com/pass, and that's on the 17th of December. And that is the show that we had, that was our numerology show. And so you can check out that one, I believe, right? Numerology. If you didn't get a chance.
I just have to mention something, because this is very intriguing to me too. I just love numbers. And, when we are obviously getting signs and guidance from the angels, and we see 111, 222, all of these famous numbers. If we start to look around and we see these other numbers, it can be 21, it can be 572, can be anything. All of these numbers have a meaning too. So combined with the first set of numbers, it's actually going to bring you a clearer message.
Right, right, right. And that's what I think is kind of interesting about the sequence of oddball numbers, so to speak. Because then now
Yes.
there's a lot of rich information when you, for instance, take a group of four numbers that aren't the same. You're just going to pull in this really very neat type of reading. So yeah, it's one I find interesting too. All right, Sissy, I'm going to move actually to the topic today. Oh, but before I do, I've got a couple cards I pulled for our callers and listeners. And just a really quick check. I'm just checking to see, do we have anyone in the chat room? Figured I'd ask first.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
You caught me there. You caught the cat by the claws, right? Yes, we have Lil Fairy here in the chat room. Hi, Lil Fairy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Lil Fairy.
I think you can go with your cards first, and then we can.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
All right. So the first one I pulled was actually out of Spirit Messages, and that's John Holland. I love his because there's just a rich deck of information. And that one was stay connected. We are all born connected to spirit, often known as the divine source. Yet many of us have a tendency to pull away from connection as we journey through life in the physical world. Now is an important time to reconnect to source. Sorry about that. The light was kind of getting in my way. So yeah, that's a good one as far as staying connected, especially during this time. You know, we're all having a lot of struggles. I think it's really a good idea for all of us. You know, we definitely need to reach out.
Yes, it is actually.
Yeah. Then the other one to follow, which was from Doreen's Angel Answers, was peaceful resolution. So, and I think that kind of goes along with the times we're in. You know, it doesn't always feel so peaceful. So that's a great message to get. I can take a picture of these if you want. Anybody wants to see them. And we can put them up, up on the
you can do
conversation.
That.
Okay,
Absolutely.
You can give me a minute. I
in
will
the chat room.
try to take a picture. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I've got to kind of stand at the same time. Sorry about that, guys. This is a little off the cuff. It didn't come out that great, Sissy. I'll try it one more time.
Okay. I think we skipped that. It's okay.
I got it.
Anyway.
I got it.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Today's topic. Sorry about that, guys. I was a little disheveled. We're picking up. This is part 2 of Soul Realignment, which we do the first of every month. And last month, I believe it was on the 3rd, right? 3rd of December. We were talking about the soul memory system and a whole bunch of things that kind of go along with that. And I'll just kind of run through a couple. So along with that would be attaching souls, earthbound souls. I'm just doing a summary, okay? Independent earthbound souls, disruptive earthbound souls. So those were just a couple areas we chose from. And I'll just summarize the first one because we had already did that one. So the soul has a memory system, and in the Akashic records, it is it's impeccably stored. This information is about the soul and our memory. Um, it's basically the highlight reel. So it houses all the information. So hence the word memory for that. With memory, you can have, in the memory system, you can have memories lost, memories. Sorry if there's any background noise there, guys. My mic is a little sensitive. So, hang on, Sissy. You can have program memories, right? Just trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, highlighted memories. These are just a few of the memory system. So I'm going to kind of I was trying to skim through some of the information to give everyone an idea of the memory system, what it houses. But you can imagine, as a human being, we have many memories. So, you can just go off in your thoughts as to what memories we house, are they highlighted? Are they confusing memories? Things of that nature.
And in essence, I'm going to chime in a little bit. It's interesting because these are things that we have been taught, experienced, imposed upon. This is what you have to follow. A lot of things throughout all our lifetimes, right? And we still have a lot of things today that we are. This is how you should react on a certain matter. This is what you should do. This is something you can say. You can't say this one. So there are still a lot of things that are interfering with us. So that can actually sit within our soul, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the thing is, just off the top of my head, have you ever noticed where you're having a conversation with someone and a memory comes in or an emotion comes in, and you're trying to figure out why that emotion is there because it's not something you would have previously reacted to? So I think the soul memory is very important to that because I think it's, historically, it's something that has occurred, in a past life and that has gotten triggered.
Yeah.
And
yes.
So yeah, that when it gets triggered, that would be something in the soul memory system. It was something off the top of my head I was thinking of when you said that. Okay, so within the context of soul realignment and what Ann and I discovered through the process of investigating, some of the other aspects, like I said, would be attaching souls. And that's kind of interesting too, because we can consistently give other people a huge amount of influence over the choices we make in our life.
Yes, we can.
And that I think we all can do that, and it's not a conscious thing. I think it's an unconscious thing. And I think it depends on where we are in our lives that we tend to do that, because there's, you could have a rough time in your life where you're down, for instance, and so someone's influence, whether it's good or bad, let's say, can actually, trying to think of the word there, can hinder choices that we make that might not be conducive to our divine selves. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
yes,
that's just
absolutely.
But it's not uncommon for any of us to have that happen. So I think it's just part of being human. So, were you going to say something?
It's the hard part of being human. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the hard part of being human. Now I'm being the funny one again. But actually, we have to pat ourselves on the back because we are walking here in this dense vibration and on this dense level and dimension. We come here without the physical memory, so we have to kind of start from scratch every time we come. So I think we are doing actually a great job with what we have.
Right.
And
Well,
some, of course, are born more intuitive and connected to their spiritual side, of course. But it doesn't always make things easier, right?
yeah, very much so. And the thing that, just to give an example, is our perception, let's say, of what other people may think. That can have an influence on decisions people can make too. And I'm not saying whether that's
Yes.
right or wrong or good or bad. Like I
No.
said,
But of course, see, that happens throughout all our lifetimes. So that's why we can carry with us things from our past that are acting as blockages for us in this lifetime. So
right,
it doesn't mean we did anything wrong. We just followed what were posed upon us. Sometimes maybe if we weren't bold enough to go against society and rules for certain reasons. So there are so many things, and you can't judge anyone for trying to do their best with what they have, right?
right. Yeah, and just on that, we can you can go further by saying that it's an influence, right? And sometimes that influence always isn't always the best. It can lead to choices that aren't always great choices. It happens, especially if you're in a vulnerable uh, state of being.
Yes, I know.
Sorry about that, Sissy. Anyways, I digress. But really quickly, I just wanted to let our callers know we're going to be over to you guys in a minute or two. We just try to break down um, some context of the topics we're talking about. So just hang in there,
Yeah.
and we should be there soon, as well as anyone in
And
the chat room.
I know, and we have some other things here because we can have attachments, and how do we get those attachments, and what happens really? Because I think that's something that people can be intrigued about and curious about.
Right. Well, and that's the area I dived into when when we were talking about influences and
Okay.
and perception of people and the power and influence
Yes.
somebody may have over you, especially when
Yeah.
you're vulnerable.
Yes. And if you are in a situation where you are depending on someone, you depend on someone for your survival, right? So that
Yeah.
makes you very vulnerable.
Right. But remember, when we do that, that's a choice we make too. So you can't really blame others, even if it's an unconscious choice. We do make those choices. Um,
Yeah. But sometimes we can be dependent if we are kids. We are small kids. We are dependent on our parents.
yeah. Right.
We are dependent. Maybe if we think 100 years ago, we weren't as free as we are today, right? So we were, as women, we were probably dependent on a husband. We weren't even allowed to vote in some countries yet. It was,
Right.
I think, 100 years ago was when this started to happen, that women had right to vote and had a voice and being able to live by themselves. Because I know in Sweden in the end of 1800s, you weren't considered being able to live for yourself. If you married and you became a widow, then your father or your brothers would have been authority over you. You weren't
Right.
authority over yourself or a new
Yeah.
husband. You had to have a man.
Yeah. I just can't imagine that time. Living through that time because we all have our own thoughts, and opinions. So that that must have not been an easy time, so to speak.
Maybe a little bit challenging, yes.
Yeah. I would think so. I would think so. So I'm just going to move through. I'm just kind of dabbing in different aspects of this and going to go to Earthbound Souls and some more information about that. So Earthbound Souls are souls that did not cross over because of traumatic death, fear of death, unexpected death, or attachments to their physical existence. They are stuck and confused and do not know they are dead. Because they are an in between, they must be cleared, which that's, all of this information that Anna and I come across, all of it, if it's not conducive for your divinity, for your soul's purpose, then we clear it out. And through the process of research and investigation, that's something we come across, and it happens for everyone. It's, we don't escape not being cleared. We all end up having a clearing.
I want to mention something about Earthbound Souls, and we are not supposed to judge, because this is something, it's like seeing through a veil, and when you cross over and when you're confused and you don't know what happened, it can be because of traumatic experience or anything, or you have been sick, or maybe you have been taking drugs, and that makes it maybe a little bit harder to understand what's going on. So what happens is that they don't really see. They can walk just a little bit, and they can find the light, and they can walk into the light, and they can move on, and they can be where they are supposed to be. Because when you don't cross over in the proper manner, they can't feed themselves with their own energy. So what happens is that they take energy from those in the location or the place where they are, and the living people who are there. So one can feel a little bit drained sometimes. This is not something to be afraid of, but it's also not something that should continue. So this is something that needs to be dealt with and to help this soul to cross over. And usually it's very, very easy. Sometimes you can find earthbound souls that are stubborn, grumpy, or, if you had a certain way of being in life, you just won't change that, especially if you are not crossing over properly. You're going to keep those. So people can be a little bit negative sometimes, but that's okay. I mean, souls.
Yeah.
But usually you can get them to go over quite easily.
Yes, you can. I know what, for instance, Earthbound souls do not have access to their own vital life force, or their vital force energy. Sorry, I stated that wrong.
Yeah.
And basically what that means is they can attach. So if they don't, they can attach to someone else, right? And that is also something that would need a clearing. And usually, a lot of times it could be even a family member. So when someone passes, they may very well attach to a family member. It's not uncommon.
Yeah. And I also want to say that it's also very common for our transitional loved ones or our guides, and because if you sense a spirit, doesn't mean that spirit is stuck. They do come and visit, even if they crossed over. But it's going to be, they are being where they are supposed to be, and they have their own life force connection, so they don't need to attach to someone just to have energy.
Well, it's definitely not a positive influence, right? And it can drain, can definitely drain your energy when that happens. Like you said, it can be very draining to someone. So, and that would be a cause, of course, for part of a clearing. So just going to move through one or two quick ones really quick here, Sissy, and then we can get to the chat room and callers. If we're if we're coming to the bottom of the hour, and I'd probably be better. Just want to do this quick. Okay. Earthbound, independent earthbound souls. Independent earthbound souls stick around long enough that they eventually learn to draw energy from their environment, not just family members. They therefore gain a level of independence. Earthbound souls have been stuck between the physical and the spiritual plane for a long time. They are not selective about their attachments, which is true. Um, they may move more, they may move about from place to place. If we choose to live in a place with an independent earthbound soul, there's enough vibrational likeness, then they may attach to us personally, which we had just stated earlier. They do not run specific programs, which that's a whole other area we could get into, but if we do, we keep going on. Okay, disruptive earthbound souls. Occasionally, independent earthbound souls gain enough power to move energetically, materialize, and make noises, and even move objects. They gather energy from their environment by creating disruption. They have a very confusing, erratic energy pattern. And we could mistake a lot of that too for I don't know, does that fall into like a poltergeist? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does, but a poltergeist is much more draining, and I feel it's very different, because these souls, disruptive earthbound souls, who are kind of making confusing things, right? They are specialists in hiding things.
Yeah.
So it happened to me many times. I know I searched for a bottle of water for 3 days a few years ago. I knew where I put it, but at the end I said, okay, no, it's okay, because I take another bottle of water. It's no big deal. But it's kind of sitting in your head, because you say to yourself, but I knew I put it there, right? And after 3 days, I found the bottle, the exact same bottle. It was mine. I know it because I had a mark on it, and at the spot where I knew I left it. So someone played a game with me.
Right. We've talked about that story before. And, one of my thoughts on that, too, is it could also have been that was a parallel event as well.
Yeah,
it most likely was a poltergeist, but it could have been a parallel event. Just, possibly.
It absolutely could have been. Yeah, because it's like, I think that they can't really hide it from us. They are putting it somewhere in a different dimension, so to speak, on a different level, and that's why we can't see it. But it's there all the time, but we can't see it with our physical eyes, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's not fun either. And that's something we could probably take on as a topic. I think we have. I'm not sure, but that's always an interesting area to talk about.
Talking about parallel dimensions. Yeah, I think that's
parallel dimensions. Yeah, I think maybe something in the future we'll consider doing something like that.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Sissy.
So, what do you say, Sissy? Do you want us to start? Yeah, we have the bottom of the hour first. Yes, of course. And then, do you want us to start with the question in the chat room, and then we can take calls?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's fine. Okay.
Wonderful. So, it's the bottom of the hour, and we have a few things to tell you. And of course, we just love to talk to you. So give us a ring at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and you can call us for questions, chat with us, share a story with us, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. And it's important that you press 1 if you want to talk with us live on the show. And you can also go to scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live, to listen live on the player and text chat with us during our shows. And this goes for all our shows, as well as the phone number, of course. And on today's show, we are talking about soul realignment, part 2 of the soul memory system. And you can find part 1 at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And we did air that show December 3rd, 2020. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue for a personal paid reading, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And we have actually listeners now in 27 countries and growing. So it's increasing every time. It's fantastic. I'm amazed. Thank you all for interacting with us and listening to our shows, and we really honor you. Thank you so much. Our next upcoming show on Scrolls of the Soul Radio will be next Thursday, January 14th, and it will be with Soul Sister Show and host Sue and myself, Anne. We will be welcoming a very special guest, Sue Broom. She has been on with us a couple of times at least before, but it was a long time ago, and she is a gifted intuitive healer, spiritual teacher, and international best-selling author. She works with the divine and angels in guiding others on their spiritual healing journey. She's absolutely amazing, and we will be talking about Make the World a Brighter Place, Shine Your Light. So with Sue Broom next, and we'll be on 10 a.m. Pacific in the US, 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece in Europe. And of course, we take your calls for questions and free mini readings live on air as usual. You can keep yourself updated on our shows, upcoming shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. And we are always live calling Worldwide Radio. And today we are broadcasting from Arizona in the US and Rhodes in Greece. And you can find us on YouTube. Search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube and subscribe and like our videos. You can find full past episodes and also upcoming shows, so you have an idea what's coming up. So that's another avenue. Now, let's get back to the show.
Sounds like a plan. Okay.
Sounds like a great plan, right?
Yeah, right. Is there any questions in the chat room?
Yes, actually, we have Lil Fairy. Hi, Lil Fairy. Happy New Year. We just love to participate with you again, interact with you. Sorry, wrong word. And Lil Fairy is saying, hello, Anne and Sue. Happy New Year. I hope you are doing well. I'm still at the temp job as I haven't yet signed the work contract with company Infosys. Hope it happens soon. Grateful for any message about the tall guy who crossed my paths a few times last year. Hope I see him again and there are opportunities to connect. Thank you. Okay, so let's see.
I'm actually sorry about that little story. I was actually digging out a pendulum here for you. So she's wondering about that male, huh?
Guy? Yeah.
Is this a coworker? I'm presuming it's the coworker she is messaging about.
I don't know. I remember there was someone. I'm sorry, but I think sometimes it's better not to remember, actually, so we give fresh advice.
Right. And that's just what came up for me, as I started dowsing. This is someone who's very busy, or at least has that energy that is
not okay, the coworker.
Right,
Okay.
I saw that. There's a lot of people that this person's in contact with. So it's like chasing something, and it's not that I'm saying you're chasing little fairy, but it's almost like chasing someone who you're having a hard time catch, and it's not that they're not interested, it's that literally their plate is filled. And a lot of people are just in and out of this person's life. Um, there's kind of a magnetism to this person, so everybody, both male and female, are drawn. So it's kind of like being put on a waiting list, I guess. Almost, it's kind of how I see it, which isn't fun and it's not nice. And he's not aware that it happens. It's just an energy that it kind of is projected. Um, Geez, yeah, that's gonna take a little bit. Do you communicate through text, or does he have your phone number? Because I think the conversation will get spurred on a little more, or communication will get spurred on a little more if it's not phone conversation and you're having trouble seeing this person. Have you exchanged phone numbers? Because I think that's a good start. Because sometimes it's easier to start talking just through some form of messaging. But yeah, this guy is busy. No, he doesn't have a number. Oh, okay. If there's a way to message, do you know? Is there any platform that's being used? Like I said, I just see someone very busy on the go with a lot of people in and out of this person's life. So, um, um, hmm. I actually got to ask Sissy, Anne. Um, I
If
can't
I
seem
have
to. I
anything.
can't. Yeah, I can't grab onto this guy. There's so much other people in the way.
I
Sorry
have a
about that,
sense
little
that
fairy.
hi, little fairy Anne here. No, I have the same sense as you. This is someone who's very busy, and I feel that there's definitely an attraction between you, and I think he sensed that too. And there is potential, but it needs to come to a place where you can meet up really, and start to get to know each other and have conversations. And that feels to be a little hard right now. Um, I will try to start a conversation if I cross paths with him again. Yes, I think that's a great idea. And it feels like this will take time, just as Sue said, but it feels to come to some kind of a perfect timing later on. But this feels to be maybe in a few weeks of time. It can be a couple of months. It can be some time. So it feels to take time. But always, timelines can be plus and minus. So it can be shorter time or longer time because it's hard to say specific timeline because it's someone else involved. If that makes sense. But thanks. Yes, thank you. And I'm going to see if I can get something around the work part where you asked about. So I have a feeling that there's a male figure coming in front of me, the vision that I have, someone who is in charge of everything. And I think that this person, within a couple of weeks, you probably will have signed the documents. It feels like it's going to be done with, and so you move forward. Do we, Sissy? Can we see if you have anything when it comes to the work part?
You know, this is a little strange, and I thought I'm just gonna say it. Did you meet this person at a gas station or some type of corner store? Was someone getting gas, or I just saw somebody like filling up at a station. It's so random how sometimes this stuff comes in, and that's That's what I'm seeing is like, somebody stopping to at a convenience store. Um, a little fairy. Is there something along that lines, or did you meet him or see him there? I don't know what that's about, but that's all I could see, Sissy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Sometimes we don't always know. It comes up kind of random.
Yeah, at the grocery store.
At the grocery store. Okay. Yeah, there was definitely something. Something. It looked more like a convenience store to me, so it just may be the way it's laid out. Like a small little corner store. But okay. Huh. And is this someplace that he may go to a lot? Because you did say you cross paths at the grocery store. I'm not saying show up there every day, but maybe maybe this is definitely the start. The start of communication. Huh. I really can't catch on to any more other than that. Other than this, a lot of people around. So, um, if there's more, we'll let you know. We're on every week, and you come back on every week. I'm gonna have to kind of wrap it up, though,
Yes.
love, just because we have other callers. So just keep us
Yes.
updated. And thanks for the question.
Thank you so much, Little Fairy, and we do hope this was helpful to you, and we love you very much. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you. Okay, Sissy. I'll go to the board and grab a caller.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, hi. My name is Patricia. I'm calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
Thank you for taking my call. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Dialed in. I hear that you're talking about soul realignment, so I don't know how much of I missed. But I just the overall experiences I've had. When you mentioned poltergeist, it has really been a hellish, negative, abusive, difficult time living here this time 9 years in this town, and I found out through other psychics telling me that these Rust Belt towns, which Cleveland is one of them, that there tends to be poltergeists, a whole lot of them. And I mean, it's just like I'm just literally having to protect myself. I mean, literally, energetically shielding myself daily.
Right.
I mean, and what I've gone through, I mean, just most of the people here, I mean, I've just had some different negative experiences, how they think they can just talk, be really abusive and so on. And of course, I'm not going to tolerate that. And I mean, how I've had to just hold myself back because they're starting to get physically confrontational with me, meaning going to move toward me.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, I mean, you would need a 20-hour show, I mean, for what I could tell you, but obviously I'm not going to go through that. And it's like I am, and thankfully I'm getting the hell out of here this fall. And I was just so distracted with all the things going on energetically.
Right.
Yeah. And so, and I mean, it's the way it's just going to resolve itself for me is just to move on. I'm happily to move that because there's nothing for me here.
Yeah.
I mean, how it affected my finances, my health, and I mean, I don't, I don't want to deal with most of these people here.
Right. Oppressive.
Well,
definitely oppressive, and they're the people you're talking about specifically. Is there attachments going on? Do you feel like there's some real negative influence in attachments happening?
Well, I mean, some people, like, say, a security guard at a library. So I don't know these people. I don't want to know them.
Yeah.
Now, these are living. I mean, they're not dead. I mean, they're dead to a certain degree, spiritually or whatever, but that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if I can get a reading, and it's
no, of course, that's what you called for.
And I missed the part. I missed the part where you ladies were talking about what are these poltergeists, ghosts, and I mean, it's just unresolved in their. I mean,
well, that's not really the aspect. We kind of tapped on that a little because some of the information kind of sounds like it could be a poltergeist. Some of the disruptive earthbound souls can seem very much like poltergeist. So I think that was, you picked up on the last part of some of the areas we were diving into, basically.
Right.
I'm going to actually ask Anne, because I'm seeing a lot of things, and I got to write it down first, if that's okay with you, Anne.
Yes, absolutely. So here's one thing, but you're talking about people, we don't call people who are alive poltergeists. It's spirits who have transitioned, have passed away. We can't say transitioned over because they are not in the right place. But we can call people who are living that are attaching energetic cords on you, and they are draining you maybe. And if you have a public occupation, like you said you were a security guard, right?
No, I'm not. When I encounter the person that's so nasty and negative to me.
Okay. But it, if we have to deal with quite a few people, it's a very good thing that we maintain. We usually call it our spiritual hygiene. That's like a basis, because we need to make sure we are grounded down into the earth, to make sure that we practice cord cutting so that we can clear all these cords on a daily basis, and that we are connected to the highest and brightest source. That's like brushing teeth or taking a shower, the daily hygiene, spiritual hygiene. But when we feel that we are drained, and what happens when it comes to energetic cords with living people, for instance, you and I have a cord right now, and that's natural, right? Because we talk with each other. So we always create these things because everything is energy and it's always present. But when we close the phone, this cord is going to go away naturally by itself.
Right.
But when we have some people that may not be feeling very well, they can be sad, or they can have their personal problems, or we can have some kind of an emotional connection to them, and it can be whatever. And even if we don't know them, they may be people who are trying to connect to others, and they unconsciously connect cords to someone because they can't provide themselves. They are too, maybe they are not connected with divine source themselves, even if all of us can, and we have that connection, because they can be clogged. Connection can be damaged somehow. So that's how these things happen, but it's not a healthy thing. And when it comes to poltergeists, those are very negative and very strong, how can I say, earthbound souls, so to speak. So, but usually it can be anything, basically, that are a living creature, a being of the universe. So it doesn't need to have been a human being, but it can be, it's always something that's very negative, and it always makes us feel drained. So it's taking our energy, and this thing, poltergeists are feeding out of fear, and they do things that makes us feel very uncomfortable, and that awakes our fear. So that's why they do it, so they can feed off the fear, because we focus on the fear and we focus on them and giving them the energy. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I'm understanding, what you're explaining to me. But I mean, and I thank you. But I mean, when this was, now obviously I wasn't understanding a lot of this. I mean, because when it feels like, and obviously if you're a highly sensitive, empathic person, and it's like you're being slashed with razor blades, naked, that type of, you just want to be safe and be left the heck alone. And see, that's where I'm at right now. So I mean, I've learned, several shielding and protective that I do, in the morning, and just starting my day, as well as self-care, and to do that, and I keep to myself, and yes, but also I know that I'm to have love and abundance and prosperity, because I'm not going to be bothered and messed with, to put it in those terms. So I, as I said, and I mean, how I've just been so affected in those various areas, health and finances and so on. And so, like I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get the pennies, because I'm focused on, I've been teaching myself with this chain of events that happened last year. I've decided to focus on being a freelance writer and speaker, but a proofreader. Now, and it's getting the tools and so on and so forth. And I mean, I'm in between jobs, let's put it that way. I prefer to work at home, but obviously that requires me to have a really solid working computer and the Wi-Fi. And I do have a computer, but it's it's older, so it's not as functioning as I want it. And so it's just a challenge, I mean, for me to get to what I'm doing. But I mean, I still, like I've been listening to various presenters and entrepreneurs during that time last year to learn these skills.
I just want to say that when it comes to your plans and how this looks for the future, it feels like this is something to be very, very good for you. It's a lot of abundance surrounding your plans for the future. Sometimes, when we have these negative, it can be these energetic cords, and it can even be that you have poltergeist or some other presence at the location you're living. And it doesn't sound, it concerns me when you say that you have physical things that you can feel like there are physical things going on, and that's not good at all. So one suggestion would be to actually, if you can find someone in your area, or maybe you want to proceed with one of us, because this is something that takes a little bit more time. You need to delve into and really figure out what's going on, because there's another thing with entities that are moving around us. They can be a little bit sneaky, and even if we can sense them, when we try to catch them and try to tune into them and see what they are, they can be very sneaky, and they can you kind of have to surround it so you can get to it and you can get an understanding. And of course, that's not being done as a person, that's being done along with guides and angels and all of those who are helping when we do that kind of a work, because it can be very draining for you. So I don't know. Do you want us to ask what Sue's getting around this? If she can add anything more?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sure. And I mean, I know ancestral healing will help me, and I'm learning past life regression with a CD and book by Brian L. Weiss, using regression.
Oh, wow.
For physical, emotional, and spiritual healing I got from the library, because I believe some portion is my ancestral wound. And I just keep it's these same types of experiences, different people, different states, same issues. And it's not my lack of work ethic or whatever that I haven't experienced, success in my life in areas that I want to be. So I'm going to teach myself this past life regression because obviously I don't have the income right now to pay for it. So
right. That's a good idea, Patricia. That's a really good idea because it helps as far as learning and understanding and gathering these tools just for the sake of going into battle, so to speak, because it sounds more like this is a battle thing. And and right now, the location you're at is very much like kind of like a battle. Put it that way. I'm running out of time. I've got to grab other callers, so I'm just going to wrap up by saying there is a place you can go if you go to our website, schoolsofthesouls.com. There is webinar information there for there's a free webinar there. Sissy, I'm brain farting here.
Yes.
On the site. On our site.
Oh, okay, I can explain. I'm going to put this up also because we have a scrollsofthesoul.com. That's our page.
Right.
And we have /live. That is our chat room. So I put this link up in the chat room. But it basically is scrollsofthesoul.com/webinar. scrollsofthesoul.com/webinar. It's a free webinar on the Akashic Records, on soul realignment, and it's very good. I think it's going off once a week right now. So it's around an hour long, and you get the replay after, so you can listen in again if you want to, or if you can't be on that specific time, so you're going to be able to listen.
Okay.
It's free. And it's very enlightening. It's not the whole story, of course, because it takes time, but it's intriguing. Maybe you want to start with that one.
All right.
And it's helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's helpful. All right, love. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Okay, Sissy, I'm going to grab another caller, okay? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, ladies. Happy holidays. I was thinking
Hi,
about
Melissa.
Hi.
Happy holidays. Hi, Melissa.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hello.
What's going on?
Okay. Okay. So, I did my New Year's thing, and want to say positive. And I think for holidays, Anyway, I'm doing an update because it's like I would like to find somebody, but I'm not looking. I'm not looking. It just presents itself. And anyway, I need some clarification and some advice, please. I think last time that I spoke, everything came out accurate, true. You always have. You always been right on course. Myself, I have to follow my intuition. And what I'm right now feeling is that I need to ask is, I need clarification on this because I'm not sure if it's something that, because everybody's going through high emotions right now. But can you please help me out? It's concerning it's a different person, the same person I talked with you 2 weeks ago. But it's not. It's a new person, and I wasn't looking, It just spontaneously occur, and I something about anyway. Do you what are you seeing that? Because
Did you meet a new person?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a new person. I know he's foreigner. It starts with the letter I. I is Ireland. I is Iceland. Okay, so the intro is there. There was a small disagreement, and I'm not sure if it's I'm working anyway. What are you seeing that? I mean, I hope I said it right. What do you see now with him and I?
I'm laughing because there's like so much confusion in your voice. You know, like is there a lot of confusion with this person?
I have a feeling that like no. I just want to know, like, is his disagreement emotion over? Like, is he still gonna be there? Like, is he getting some type of promotion? It's a small little place. I wasn't planning. Because I see the interest in him. He was very polite and friendly. There was a disagreement, but I tried. He says I'm not going to be there. But I am going to be there back and forth. But what do you see that towards the future, like able to communicate with him?
Right now, I know the question is about this person, but there's more confusion on your side. What is it you're asking?
Okay, that's true. Okay, I'm asking. Sorry. Okay, I'll stop rubbing. My question is. You're right, ladies. I'm sorry. I went 10 different ways. I will focus now. So I met this new person. Without me even looking. Conversations were great. Right. Get to know each other, and there was a small disagreement. But I'd like to know if you see him and I having a form of friendship, continuing to. If we're going to be able to be friends in the long run, like, is he still going to be there? Like, anyway, how am I able to communicate with him? Like, are we still going to be friends?
Is he leaving? Is he leaving to go back? Is this temporary right now?
Well, because he's upset. He said he was going to leave, and then he said he was going to stay. But then a situation occurred where the main one got injured, and I know the owner relies on him. So,
well, let me just phrase it this way. I'm having trouble with this one for some reason. I'm not getting any clarity, and that can happen sometimes to the best of us. And may have results, and I don't. So,
okay.
I'm going to ask Ann.
I have a lot of mixed messages coming. But maybe that's, Melissa, just as you said, you were not very focused, and you're thinking, it's like you're thinking too much, and sometimes we do. It's fully understandable. So I don't say this out of judgment. I do understand. It's, we meet someone new, and we are intrigued, and there are so many things going on, and we have feelings, or we start to sense that we have. And there are all these past experiences that are also being triggered, because that's happening every time we meet someone new. Because when we open up our heart for someone, we feel very vulnerable. I have a sense that the start feelings between you, the first feelings, they are really genuine. They feel to be genuine. But there's so much confusion. And it feels like both of you are walking around in circles a little bit, looking at the other part and thinking, okay, is this going to become something? Is this possible? What's going to happen? So I sense that both of you probably are a little bit confused. Sometimes when we have this confusion, it's a bad thing to try to fight the confusion. and to gain clarity. Because when we start that kind of fighting, we're not going to gain the clarity we want, right? And the best thing actually is just to acknowledge right now, okay, I feel confused. I don't really know what to do. But that's fine. I accept that I'm confused. So that's one of the first steps. I feel that there is potential and possibility here, and I think that you can be friends, and I think that you may even be more than friends if you would like to choose that route. But that's up to the two of you, because we always have a choice. That's why I always say we can't say that it's written in stone and you're going to end up together, because that's not how it works in the universe. Even if we can sense that there's a great possibility here, and this is something you probably met up because of a few different reasons. Because there are good feelings, there's attraction, there's chemistry, and there's potential. But along the way, until the two of you can figure out how you feel safe to open up for each other and explore what you have, it may be still feeling a little bit rocky for some time. So for yourself, you can't do anything for him to feel more comfortable. You can just be yourself, because that is the one he had been attracted to in the first place. And I feel that you will continue to talk. I don't feel that this is the end of it. But what you do with it is up to you. So when you now feel confused, I fully understand, because we feel very vulnerable when we're opening up our heart, right? It's a very sensitive part of our life. But it's not dangerous, and you can't lose anything. Sometimes we tend to think that, okay, I'm opening up my heart and I'm giving it a try, and then maybe this is not going anywhere, and I lose and I feel very hurt. But, it's about how we respond, and we don't need to protect ourselves in that sense. It's not something that's really dangerous. I know that's easy for me to say. I know. I'm just telling you what I'm getting from spirit and angels and what they tell us. But they also understand. They know how we feel sometimes. But I sense that just accept that, okay, I have confusion. I don't really know. But be yourself. Don't be afraid of getting to know this person and keep the contact. I feel you will keep the contact. Okay? I don't know if that makes sense to you, Melissa.
It does make sense. Real quickly, ma'am. Do you still see him being there where he's at with?
If I still see him be there, yes, I feel that he will be there. But it's like you need to come to some kind of conclusion together where you want to have this. Do you want to start off as friends to see where this is going and how you can to have the contact? But I don't feel he's cutting the connection with you. No. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes. I don't want to stay alone in this earth plane. Of course, I didn't look. I was not thinking. It just spontaneously happened. He has a lot of credibility, and you could leave it up to God and myself as well.
Wow.
I think possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just actually listening. Yeah, I'm just actually listening, Sissy. I don't disagree. I'm just having trouble kind of catching on to him, and maybe it's just because of your confusing energy. So I was having a little bit of trouble. But I agree with Ann. I don't think whatever this disagreement was you had with him, that's gonna pass. Don't drive yourself crazy over an argument that's gonna pass. Basically, the communication will continue. Maybe somebody needs to break the ice a little. If that makes sense. But it's not the end of the world, so to speak.
Okay? That makes sense. And you got the same thing that he's still gonna be there.
Yeah, I definitely got that. That I think that it just whatever this dispute was, right? It's not enough to prevent you from having a friendship or a relationship. It's not enough. So I think everything will work out. So just
Cool.
give it a little bit of time. It'll happen. I've got to wrap up though, love, because I'm running out of time.
Yes. Thank you, ladies, for your marvelous advice. Again, I'm a little bit embarrassed, but
it's okay.
I'm not. Thank you for understanding. I was just embarrassed.
Thank you, Melissa. We love you very much.
Thank
you, ladies. God bless y'all.
Bless you too, Melissa.
And you.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Sissy. We've got enough time, right? Or
yes. I just want to say anything. I'm so sorry. This is a little bit funny. I'm laughing within. Actually, I have some geese outside here screaming. So if anyone hears anything, that's only the geese. Sorry.
I know. The only thing I heard was a little bit of feedback with Melissa on. Might be that the volume of our show is kind of feedbacking a little bit. Something I could think of.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let me grab a caller here. Hang on. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello. Hi. Good morning. My name is Christina, and I'm calling from California, and I'm a first-time caller.
Hi, Christina.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I wrote all your information down so I can be sure to listen in. I have a question. I am going to court on the 14th of January, so in about, I think it's like 8 days from now or 7 days from now. And I wanted to know what you pick up when it comes to what the ruling's going to be. It's a painful divorce, and a lot of really bad things, laws being broken, and my ex is politically connected. He's been able to get into my safe deposit box, the judges,
no wonder I got
police.
The deception card.
Yeah, it's really bad. And so I dropped my kids off, and then I didn't get them back. And I'm having to go back and forth to court. And what I want to do is have 50-50 custody and let the children see both mom and dad with warts and all. I just feel that this is the only way that's going to help them to discover the truth for themselves, is to have contact with both of us. And I'm being erased. And I wanted to know, do you see the outcome ruling for 50-50 custody with my children, and that I still get my alimony? I'm trying to go to school, and it's just been horrible. He's broken into my house, my car. Yeah. He's robbed me. It's horrible.
Right. Yeah, it definitely.
And I'm scared for my life.
Right. And my as far as the end result, I'm having trouble seeing that only because of all the deception and how much this feels like it's something that's just gonna be back and forth to court. A lot of back and forth. It has been
2 years. Yeah, it's been a year of back and forth. But this is they're going to decide on the custody and on the alimony.
Okay. And because there's connections here politically, right?
But what's amazing is, regardless of the connections, I had divine intervention, because I've won every single round step by step, and I didn't even find out about him being connected. And I knew once he got into the safe deposit box, no one's going to let you in, and that made sense with everything. And I could not believe, I just set the intention for fair and just ruling, and please mirror himself back to himself. And that I will slip through all the shenanigans and antics and deception, fair and just ruling, because the children need both of us.
Right. Right. And go ahead.
What do the cards say? Or you?
Okay. Yes. Hi. Hi, Christina. This is Anne. I'm sorry to hear your story, and it's a very tricky one, actually. But what it feels to be here, I don't know if I'm correct or not, but this is what I'm getting for you. Your ex-husband feels to be very, very, very strong, and very stubborn. So for me, it feels like he still thinks he owns you, and he wants to rule everything. He's going to make the decisions. He's going to be in charge of everything. He's going to run it all. So it's like he can't really let you go. But deep down, I feel that there's still love, but it's a very possessive love. It's not a healthy love. So this is absolutely not something that would be a good relationship. It feels like you have been working here a lot in the past to make things happen and to try to, you mentioned this as well, and you said a lot of processes in court and a lot of troubles, and, he broke into your house and he has done a lot of things. He's coming up for me as someone who is a warrior. He wants to fight, but it's not a very positive fight. For you, I do have a sense that you feel very confused right now. You don't really know where to lean, what to believe, because you have gone through so many things, and that's very understandable. But I have a sense that there will be justice coming. So when you say it's divinely guided and you had divine intervention, I do actually feel that you have. And sometimes when we are at our deepest, the parts in our life when we feel we are at the deepest hole, so to speak, then we actually, when we believe and have faith, we can actually see some opening and some things coming in our favor. And it feels like you will get from this time around, from this court, it feels like you're going to get, I can't promise it's going to be all in your favor, but it feels like you're going to be satisfied and you will feel like you have got what you need from it. And I'm having the star here for you too, and that's a wonderful card to have when it comes to, I have you winning, and I have the star, and I have justice. So it feels like you're very good, and this is also depending on you, because you have that faith. Even if you feel confused, you're going to win in the end, because you're persistent and you are a positive stubborn. Make sense?
Yeah, and I know that he would slay dragons for the kids, and I know he loves them, and I know that he was hurt growing up. I was with him for 20 years, and it's been really horrible for me because I love him, but I cannot allow this kind of treatment of myself, double standards, and I just keep, it's horrible grieving because I just want peace, and if he can't, if this is who he is, which, if he doesn't have a change of heart or take ownership, then I have to move on. And
yes,
I want to do it in peace, but I don't think he will let me move on if he decides that this is who he is. I'm afraid that he might try to take my life.
Oh, if you have concerns of that nature, maybe you need to seek out, those who can help you with that. Maybe Sue is better on that than, because I'm in Europe. But you have to go to the police at least to tell them, so they have.
Oh, I can't even go
on.
to the police here. He's connected all over this area. I mean, I would have to probably go out of state. I've already moved, and I was shocked. Like, it's criminally involved. Like, it's just, I had no idea, and thank God he never told me. He didn't tell me because he knew I'd probably say something, and then I'd be taken out. But it's just shocking and heartbreaking for me. But I just want peace, and you know, I didn't even ask for the divorce. So
even if you have to go outside state, even if you have to go outside state, just go to someone and let them know and tell them, and maybe you can make a complaint or anything. I don't know how the law is working where you are, but it's a nightmare if you can't reach out to the law. You have to do that somehow because you have to be able to express that.
I've already have over 15 different police reports. I've moved. It's been I've nonstop calling the police, having them document. And so what I want to do now is I'm just a wing and a prayer. Please, God, touch his heart. You know, if you can't treat me right and he asks for the divorce, please let me go and don't terrorize me. Don't rob me. But as you said, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Like, he's extremely possessive, and it's like, you know, I haven't been with anyone else, and I still love him, but I can't be with anyone that's going to abuse me, and I'm not going to, you know, and right now I just need to heal. I'm in no mental condition or shape. I have to heal to date anyone for a few years because I really just want to come from my heart, and I see him as a little boy in my third eye.
Yes.
And just sending love to him and peace, you know, love and peace.
I'm sorry. I do have to cut soon because we are going to, in 3 and something minutes, we're going to be cut off from the system. But you know what?
Okay.
Hold your faith, and we are back next week, the same time. So you're very welcome to call. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
It feels it's going to be okay. Okay? Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you so much. Many blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Christina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Many
you.
blessings.
Bye.
Oh,
bye.
Okay. So, bye.
Okay.
So, on today's show, we have been talking about soul realignment, part 2 of the soul memory system. And you can find part 2 at scrollsofthesoul.com/past from December 3rd last year. And next week, we will be back, same time, same day, with our special guest, Sue Broom, discussing Make the World a Brighter Place, Shine Your Light. And you can always find upcoming episodes on scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. And, of course, on YouTube. Search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio on YouTube. And, Sissy, do you have anything you want to tell the listeners before we end the show?
I just want to say to everyone, thank you again so much. We really appreciate it for you entrusting your questions to us. We really can't tell you how grateful we always are. So, and Christina, like Ann said, call back next week around at the same time. And we're here to help if you need us. Just get in a little bit earlier. With that being said, just a shout out to my mom. Angels watch over you all night long.
Yes, and I say love, light, peace, and joy to all of you. Bye.